na prudent na humingi po ng opinion or guidance from the Department of Justice.
So, gusto ko lang ipaalala din sa inyo, no? Hindi naman ito kauna-unang pagkakataon. Marahil may konting pagkakaiba, pero halos pareho rin sa GMA franchise, March 20, 2017 ang expiration date. Pero ito ay napirmahan ng April 21, 2017. So, nag-lapse rin. TV5, ganun din, December 2019, pero napirmahan ng December 2018, pero napirmahan ng April 2019. CBCP, nagtapos ng 2017, pero pinirmahan ng 2019, 2 taon yun. Subic Broadcasting, nagtapos ng 2017, napirmahan ng 2018. Radio Marine Network, nagtapos ng 2018, pero pinirmahan pa ng 2019. Smart Communications, nagtapos ng 2017 ng March, pero pinirmahan ng April 2017. Globe Innovate, April 10, 2017 nag-expire, pero napirmahan ang kanilang prangkisa December 14, 2018. PTNT, nag-expire ng 2015, pero nag-lapse into law ng 2016. So yan ay maraming mga naging halimbawa kung saan habang hindi pa tapos ang prangkisa, ay nagkaroon pa rin ng pag-aproba ng kanilang prangkisa on a temporary basis hanggang matapos ang mga pagdinig. Nais ko rin ipakita sa inyo itong mga transcripts natin dito sa Senado sa ating mga naging diskusyon. Ako rin yan. So, pero ito hindi pa ako ito, no? Catholic Bishops Conference of the Philippines. Former Representative Marcelino Teodoro wrote to Senator Sergio Osmeña on January 27, 2016 regarding the status of the application of the franchise renewal. Tapos nakalagay dito, considering the period that the legislative measure takes time to get approved, the said grantee's franchise term lapse last November 2015, but its application for renewal is still within the term of the 16th Congress. So, hindi pa tapos ang 16th Congress, kaya kinukonsidera pa rin ito. Next, please. In a similar instance, the same principle was also applied in the case of the franchise renewal of Smart Communications. Next, please. Ito naman ay journal. Upon resumption, this representation recalled that in the 16th Congress, there was a similar situation involving PTNT under House Bill number 5601. So, yan. Next, please. Further, the same principle was applied to the GMA Network Company. Next, please. Ito po ang sulat ni Congressman Marcelino Teodoro kay Senator Osmeña. Nabasa ko na ito, basically humihingi siya ng extension dito. Ito actual transcript ito na naganap sa Senado. February 20, 2017, back please, back. Senator Zubiri, we have another hearing and I agree to that. We just want to point out also the need, the timing actually for the passage of this measure. So that Senator Recto, Madam Chair, just a follow-up on the manifestation made by Senator Zubiri. May we ask the NBC and maybe the SEC what happens if Congress does not pass the franchise March 17 on time? Mr. Caballos, Your Honor, I guess that Section 16 of Republic Act 7925 specifically provides that only those with congressional franchise can be given authority, and the authority is coterminous with the franchise. So the franchise expires, then the authority expires, Your Honor. So that's the problem. Next, please. Mr. Caballos, perhaps, Your Honor, a directive from Congress so that we can recognize the operation of SMART pending the approval of the renewal of the franchise. Next, please. I I recall that you treat radio and television franchise differently because I know radio and television, you give provisional licenses to operate. I know that because there's so many radio operators now all over the provinces, and they always present without a congressional franchise. They present a temporary operating permit given by the MTC. Your Honor, Telecoms who kasi has a specific law. That's Republic Act 7925. So this is regarding SMART. Next, please. So the expiry of the SMART franchise without its renewal would actually result in an event of default on all SMART obligations, and it will trigger across default on the PLDT obligations. I think this is Attorney Ray giving his statement. So this would create a scenario where the PLDT group may fall under general default in all of its loan obligations. Pag nag-expire franchise, hindi na nila matutugunan ang kanilang mga commitments, mga utang, mga kailangang bayaran. But I think for a public service standpoint, unless the NTC tells us to stop operation the day after the expiry of the franchise, the public service would have to continue because that would be in the best interest actually of public service. Next, please. Ito naman yung sa Innovate. Innovate, are you using a provisional franchise permit now for Islacom? And then the chairperson said, Mr. Castello said, technically, yes, ma'am. This representation said, were you giving them provisional authority? And Mr. Cordova answers, I think, ma'am, there was an opinion given by the House of Representatives that as long as it was filed before the expiration, then they can continue within the present Congress. Next, please. The acting chairman, Senator Osmeña. So you're using the date of application rather than the approval of the extension for the application as the basis for saying that it would be perfectly legal for Congress to renew. Acting Chairman Senator Osmeña again said, basta sinabi ng NTC okay. Mr. Cordova answers, just an additional matter, Your Honor. In our case, for example, cable company is about to expire in a few months. What they do is they file it before us, before the date of expiration. But since it takes some time, and then Acting Chairman Senator Osmeña said, sinasabi na sa inyo ito. And Mr. Cordova said, yes. So it takes some time for us to go through the whole process because of the pending items. Also, we have to consider it as filed on time. Next, please. Osmeña, all right. So there, you've taken care of the NTC already. I will call it anyway, the chairperson, but can they have a provisional permit to air? Mr. Caballos, Your Honor, we were informed by the House that the renewal of the franchises the application is filed in Congress, Your Honor, and we are mindful of that. So the authority continues until Congress decides whether or not the renewal of the franchise. So if you have naman that pending application and Congress does not direct cancellation, then I guess by all means then, I am correct in interpreting this, they can still broadcast. This is from Senator Osmeña. And Mr. Caballos answers, yes, Your Honor. Next, please. Okay, so that's it. So these are precedents that were discussed extensively here in the Senate. I can see that Mr. Cordova in his statements was very, very careful, but then he also recognized that the franchises will lapse, and he did not explicitly stop its operation. So with that in mind, and with that presented, may I get the reaction of the DOJ and the NTC? Sir.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I am not here to divulge the opinion that we will send to the National Telecommunications in a few days. But I am here appearing as a resource person in the hope that I may somehow contribute on the matter of how to deal with a peculiar situation of a franchise applicant whose franchise is about to expire, and bills have been filed for the renewal of its franchise, but quite unfortunately, Congress may not be able to act on it before the expiration date. So, if the honorable senators will permit me to state certain relevant facts, I think, based on the records in our possession, the following facts are undisputed. Number one, in the case of Abs-Cbn, its franchise covered by Republic Act number 7966, enacted on 30 March 1995, provides for a term of 25 years from the effectivity of the franchise. Section 15 of the franchise provides that it becomes effective 15 days from date of publication in at least 2 newspapers of general circulation. Based on facts available to us, the franchise was published on April 19, 1995. For that reason, the franchise will expire on May 4, 2020. Another fact, various bills have been filed in Congress for the renewal of Abs-Cbn's franchise. Next, there are indications that Congress will not be able to act on the said pending bills before the expiration of the franchise on May 4, 2020. There is nothing in Republic Act number 7966, that's the franchise of Abs-Cbn, in the radio control law, in the public service law, or in any other law that provides for a situation where a franchise expires during the pendency of its application for renewal with the Congress. And therefore, the issue before us is whether or not Abs-Cbn or any entity similarly situated may continue to operate after the expiration of its franchise and during the pendency of various bills for its renewal in the Congress. What is the DOJ position on this matter? Number one, there is a gap in the law that could have declared the status of operations of a radio and television franchisee when the Congress has not finally acted on a bill for the renewal of its franchise. Number two, when there is a gap in the law, equity comes in to fill the gap. Equity is the principle by which substantial justice may be attained in cases where the prescribed or customary forms of ordinary law are inadequate. And that is a citation from Enrile versus Sandigan Bayan, citing Reyes versus Lim, a 2003 case. Considerations of equity have apparently been applied in previous similar situations presented earlier, namely, among others, PTND, Smart Communications Incorporated, Catholic Bishops Conference of the Philippines Incorporated, all of whom were allowed to operate despite expired franchises as long as the application for the renewal of these franchises were lodged with the Congress before the lapse of their term. Number four, the grant of a franchise is an exercise of sovereign power, and under our Constitution, that power is vested in the Congress. By necessary implication, such power of Congress also includes